What's going on, Animal Crew? Stefi Cohen here. Welcome back to one of my videos in collaboration with Animal Pack. Today I'm going to be taking you through my workout and I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've been up to and the type of training that I'm doing as of now. As some of you guys know, I've been transitioning into boxing for the last year, but that doesn't mean that I'm not in the weight room. I'm still a powerlifter and a strength athlete at heart, and it's still a priority for me to come into the gym and lift heavy and maintain my hard-earned muscle that I've been building for the last 10 years. So as of now, I train in the weight room about 3 times per week. I try to do 1 upper body session, 1 lower body session, and 1 full body session, which is today. It's what I'm gonna be taking you guys through. So most of my sessions are around 45 minutes to an hour long. They're usually done in the afternoons after I've already boxed in the morning. And the main goal or the main aim for these sessions is to preserve strength and preserve muscle mass while at the same time helping me with my boxing. So a lot of single leg stands, exercises for my lower body, obviously a lot of unilateral work for my upper body as well that accentuates rotation and power translation from the legs into the arms, going through the torso. And then outside of that, always some kind of rehab type exercises, bicep and tricep exercises with slow eccentric to strengthen the tendons and maintain optimal health. And then exercises that challenge my range of motion in different planes, like an overhead tricep extensions and overhead presses to kind of counteract all of this plane motion that I've been doing in boxing. So don't want to bore you guys too much with me talking, so let's get straight into the workout. Follow me. We're gonna start this workout with some belt squat, hip focus. So for this, I'm actually gonna have my feet a little bit wider than normal, and I'm gonna focus on really sitting down onto my hips rather than letting my knees come forward, which uses more of your quad for that motion. I like holding underneath rather than over because it makes me use this less and makes me use my legs a little bit more. So for this rep scheme, we're gonna do 3 sets of 15 reps. I'm gonna do all high volume today. Now we're gonna do some walking lunges, 15 reps per leg. I'm not gonna choose a weight that's too heavy because I have 4 sets to do, and I know I'm gonna be feeling it. So we're gonna grab a 30-pounder dumbbells for this exercise. So again, for these type of walking lunges, there's no right or wrong way of performing a walking lunge, but rather the way that is most conducive to your own goals. So the focus of this workout for your lower body today is gonna be posterior chain, so glutes and hamstrings more than quads. So again, the angle that has the greatest change in motion is the joint that's gonna be doing the most amount of work, and therefore the muscles that are gonna be most active. So if I wanted to use my quads the most, if you watch me from the side, and I do a squat and I bring my knees forward, this is the joint that's gonna exhibit the largest change in motion, so the quads are gonna be working harder. Now, if I shoot my hips backwards and I try to keep them in line, then the greatest angle arc of change is gonna be coming from my hips, which means that my glutes and my hamstrings are gonna be doing most of the work. So for the purpose of doing walking lunges, if I'm doing a walking lunge, this is not bad, by the way, it just means that it's more focused towards the quads if you do it like that. If I try to stay back on my hip more and really focus on pushing up with that glute, then it becomes a much more glute focused, glute centered exercise. last lower body exercise for today, we're gonna do a variation of a Bulgarian split squat with a more kind of explosiveness to it. So it's gonna be a kind of like a single leg jump with reciprocated arm motion to develop speed and power in the legs. So it's gonna look something like this. Gonna do 5 or 6 reps on each leg. Key for that, try not to let your knees cave when you're dropping. Try to go through a full range of motion, focusing on exploding with the leg that's in front, trying to use the rear leg as little as possible. Starting our upper body portion of the workout, we're gonna be doing some overhead tricep extensions. Commonly neglected position for a lot of strength athletes is the overhead position. You know, we very rarely train anything in this particular range of motion. The reason why it's so important that we actually do is because when it comes to shoulder health and shoulder stability, the only way that you can actually work on your shoulder stability is putting your shoulder in an unstable position to begin with. So this is most stable and this is least stable, a position that we rarely train in, that we commonly have a lot of mobility limitations that may or may not become problems in the future. But if we have the technology to avoid that, or to at least mitigate some of the risks associated with the repetitive motion of benching and lifting really heavy, then why not just add it to your routine as another exercise, you know, that you alternate into your training. So for this motion, you want the cable, the line of the cable, to be directly underneath your hand, so that line of pull stays consistent for the entire motion of the movement. So when you're in this position, what you want to do is you want to exaggerate a little bit of the lean towards the opposite side of the shoulder that's working, get a little bit of the stretch on your lats, and really try to accentuate that straight line from wrist to elbow to then shoulder. So opening up to the side and pressing to the top, holding it there, and then coming back down. For the purpose of this workout, we're gonna be doing 3 sets of 15 reps per side. Make sure you flare your lats. You're starting from a position where your elbow is already in line with your shoulder rather than here. You want to be up here and then pressing right from there, making sure that your armpit is flared out. Moving on to our biceps exercises for the day. We are going to do a cable curl in the fully lengthened position of the bicep. So what this means is your bicep is responsible for elbow flexion and supination. So in order to train it, we got to start from in order to train it throughout its full range of motion, we start from a pronated angle and a fully extended angle into a supinated and fully flexed angle. Now there's different ways, different angles that you can work on the bicep. You can work it on its fully lengthened position, you can work it on its mid-range position, and you can work it on its fully shortened position. For the sake of this exercise, we're going to be working on its fully lengthened position through its entire range of motion. So starting again with a pronated wrist, fully extended arm, into full flexion, supination. Now, in order to maintain constant tension and the full range of motion with the cable, there's no point on bringing the cable all the way up here, because if you follow the line, the trajectory of the cable at this point in time, there's no tension being exerted on the bicep, so there's no point on us even training in that particular motion. So as soon as gravity, or in this case, the tension of the cable stops exerting force into the bicep, that's the point that we can stop the movement. So we go from here to here. Final two exercises that we're gonna do today are gonna be shoulder exercises. Using the cable is my favorite method to train the shoulders. So we're gonna first start with rear delts. So same principles apply when it comes to using the cable for the purpose of hypertrophy. Using the same concept that I explained during the bicep curl, we gotta follow the line of pull of the machine that we're using, and the goal should be to maintain constant tension through the entire lift. So I wanna go full range of motion. So if the rear delt does abduction of the shoulder, abduction of the shoulder, I'm gonna start in that position of full adduction, so with my arm across my body. And from there, I'm gonna take it to full abduction up to 90 degrees. Final exercise for today, we're gonna train our front delts. There's two ways that we can use the cable to train front delts. We can either stand right in front of the cable, again using that same line of pull, maybe using a handle so you can keep your arm, your hand pronated. You can do it like this, or you can use the scapular plane, which is the plane where you put your hand at 30 degrees of flexion in front of your body. So we can be right here, 30 degrees in front of the plane of the body, and we're gonna train it right there. For this movement, it's okay to have your elbow slightly flexed or bent. You don't want to keep your elbow fully extended. Creates a lot of tension there on the ligaments on your elbow. So you want a slight bend, 30 degrees of flexion in front of your frontal plane to be on the scapular plane of motion. And then don't be greedy with the weight. You should be doing a weight that you can perform 15 to 20 repetitions at a relatively challenging intensity, but you want to be able to complete 3 or 4 sets at the same weight. And that concludes our workout for the day. Full body session with Stefi Cohen in collaboration with Animal Pack. So I hope that was entertaining. I hope that you learned something new today. If you have any more comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to drop it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Animal's YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me at Stefi Cohen on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your support. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next Animal video. Bye. Peace. You look at my fucking veins. I'm posing. Yeah. That's how you don't do it. Thank you, Simon.